Go. Go.
The other day, she tweeted something again, and in her side account, sub account, and I was like, I answered to it, right? I was like, Lapu-chan, let's just go to karaoke. I kind of felt more confident in like being the cool senpai these days to her because she has been showing me so much love again, and I'm like, okay, well, let's ride this wave. I don't know. Her reactions were always so funny. Like on Twitter, she was also like, eh, what? After the Twitter interaction, I literally just DM'd her with 2 words in Japanese. But I just said, Itsuiku. And she reacted like, eh? With exclamation mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Is it okay? Exclamation, question mark, exclamation, 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 explanation, exclamation, question mark. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go. She, I think, was probably stun locked. She didn't like say anything after that for 2 days. So I followed up. 2 days later, I'm like, Lapu-chan, do you have time tomorrow evening? Honestly, that evening, I squeezed her in so forcefully because on that day, I had like really rough, long dance lessons, actually. She said, well, I actually have like recordings, but next month, I have a lot of free days. And I'm like, I'm not in Japan next month. How about this day? That was the day where I was actually super busy. But I was like, okay, there's no other choice because I'm not gonna be here next month, so we gotta do this. And then she said, yeah, I can do it, but it'll be really late. So we met really late. The karaoke, it was like past 10 p.m. Then we like decided on some details, decided on where to go. And then she asks me, Kiara-san, who are we like inviting? Like who else are we inviting? Or are we just going with us two? And I'm like, I reply like, of course it's just us two. It's a date. I'm gonna show you her reaction. This is my face right now, she says. She then consults me about a concern. Because we're meeting up so late, right? She says like, Kiara-san, ideally I would love to be with you until like the morning, but I have to get up really early the next morning, so I would have to go home by the latest at 1 a.m. Is that okay with you? When would you have to go home? And I thought that was so funny. I replied, Lapu-chan, I wasn't planning on being with you until the morning. So like we're going to a love hotel. We're of course gonna say goodbye to each other and go our own ways after like midnight, around midnight. Because I also have something to do tomorrow. I also have to work. She laughs because I said like, oh, you want to go to a love hotel with me or something? Do you think that's what we're doing now? Oh. It was quite funny, the interactions. And then she was, surprised that I wasn't even planning on staying for that long with her. And I said, well, because I'm a Cinderella girl. I don't usually go out past midnight, you know, ever. It was a relatively short session. But she brought me a gift, a snack gift. Fancy snack gift. And she said, this really fits with beer. And I'm like, I don't drink beer. I don't drink any alcohol, but thank you. In the karaoke, I was trying to get her to sing stuff too. She was kind of too shy. She just wouldn't sing most of the time. I was able to force her to sing one song solo, but then most of the time she was just listening to me sing. I was like, oh, so cool. And then we sang like 2 or 3 songs together a little bit. Maybe 3 or 4 actually. And I sang my own songs for her. I sang Do You for her, of course. And Pineapple. She really loves Pineapple.
遊んだよ。デートしました。ラップちゃんのために Do You とか歌った。パイナップルも歌った。ラップちゃんはあんまり歌ってなかったけど。でも聞けるんだ。今度もっと歌ってよ。歌わない。まあ一緒に歌おう。いやいや、それだよ。一緒に。やだ。My girlfriend. My number one.
But yeah, then we started talking about like what kind of K-pop she usually listens to. Then we started like realizing that both of us also like watching some of these like K-pop idol survival shows. And then we chit-chat a little bit about that. And then I bring up like, oh, so you've seen this and this and this show. Have you seen this show? The one on Netflix with Cat's Eye. And she's like, no, what? I haven't seen that one. So I recommended it to her because she knew Cat's Eye. She knew the song Tats, 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 Tats. So I sang it for her. She was really happy about that. We both went home. I ended up just DMing her to like remind her one of these days to watch this show. Remember, she said she had to get up early the next day. So I was just reminding her to one of these days watch it and then let me know what she thought. But me reminding her was bad. She ended up binge watching it. Yeah, she started watching it, and then I fall asleep, and then I wake up in the morning and I see a message from her at 4 a.m. 4:30, and then again at 6 a.m. She wrote to me at 4:30. She's like, this is so exciting. I have to sleep, but I'm already at the 5th episode, and all of these episodes are like an hour or even more. And she's like, I always feel like crying watching this show. And then at 6 a.m. she's like, writing to me crying about a girl that was kicked out, and then the set of him appearing in the show. She's like, oh my god, they're in it, oh my god. But a few hours later she's like, oh, I made it. She slept a little bit, so I assume she probably went to bed at like 7 a.m. or so. It's my fault, but I didn't mean she should have I didn't want her to watch it right away. If she had to get up early, I didn't think she would be so silly. I thought she would be more responsible than that. But she really liked it. I've been getting along well with her these days, and I want to hang out more with her. And she's so cute, and I really like her fashion sense. And I get lost in her eyes these days, you know? Did I tell you that? I think I told you that I get lost in her eyes. She has such pretty eyes. But recently, I've been talking more with her, and I'm excited. I feel like we just didn't really have a proper connection before, but now I would love to do more with her. Do You was a good connection. Yeah, honestly, like, I know she liked Do You before, but like, I thought like maybe it's just a phase. Just kidding. I didn't think that. Now definitely like her still talking about Do You a while later. I can tell it's not a phase. It kind of moved me. Like, wow, somebody's showing so much appreciation. Like, whoa, I didn't expect that. I don't always experience that. And you know, people are busy with their own stuff and so on. So anyway, I felt pretty flattered. I shall take this adoration, appreciate it. Put some not moisturizer. What do you put into the plants to make them grow more? Fertilizer, yeah. I'll fertilize our relationship. Nutrients, yeah. The funny thing is, you know how much Labras loves my music, and then she brought up that recently she's really into Anya's new song, Chronic. And I'm like, oh, did you know it was made by the same team that always makes my songs? And she's like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, makes sense. You like my music, so you like Chronic. During the karaoke, when she said she also likes pineapple and all that, I was like, oh, I don't know. Usually I only hear about Do You from you, but she also said she likes Sparks and pineapple a lot. I was wondering, have you heard my new song, Mirage? Because I told her, like, I was waiting for you to like say something about it to me. You never commented on it to me, towards me, or anywhere. Did you like it? I wasn't sure. I was like excited to hear from you, and she was like, oh, I just didn't want to like impose or so too much. How to say, I don't know. She really liked it, but she was just trying to not be too creepy or whatever, I guess. And I was like, no, please, like, tell me. I enjoy hearing from you. Please go ahead, express your emotions about my music. I love to hear it. I realized, like, she didn't listen to my album songs before, and I was like, oh, you haven't heard Sleep Talking? I feel like you would really like Sleep Talking. So I sang it for her in the karaoke. If you go to, what was it, Joy Sound, like around fest time, they always have a collaboration with hololive. But we went in, and then on the TV, if you're not singing anything, they will continue to show a lot of like karaoke advertisements, like anything who's like collaborating with them. One time, Fubuki Senpai came up on the tally, and we were like, oh, Fubuki Senpai. And then another member came up, and we are like, oh, another hololive member. Hello. So it's so weird. We're just out and about doing normal things, like going to karaoke. You know what I mean? It's such a everyday, real life kind of activity. Yeah, it's a reminder of how big hololive is, and it's like everywhere, especially in Japan. It's like everywhere. That was so funny. Yeah, to see one of my coworkers there. And then there's this campaign where you can get these drinks depending on the time frame. There's only certain coasters that you can get Unfortunately, my coaster was not even in the current lineup. It was split into 3 phases. Yeah, now it's just stage 1. But Rapu-chan was a possibility in phase 1. She really wanted those coasters. So she got herself 2 drinks. I got myself 1 of those drinks. She was gonna get more originally, but she ended up not going for it. I got Furea from my coaster. And she got... Who did she get? I don't remember, but I don't think she got who she initially wanted. Oreno Flare, yeah. I was like planning on giving it to Iris, but I forgot about it. I was gonna give the coaster to Iris. Or Ina, honestly.